Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now, around about 2 years ago in March, I made my first ever YouTube video. And the reason I did it is because I was talking to my daughter, sort of saying, I'm seeing people use this cap. I'd bought this cap, I seen it come out, I thought it was fantastic. And I was seeing people use this and getting it so wrong. Now, you got to please excuse me, this is all a tongue-in-cheek, a laugh or whatever, but it's like, 2 years later, people are still getting it wrong. And basically, here we are in the Six Nations, and everybody's drinking Guinness. Everybody's drinking Guinness, and I've seen some fantastic feeds. I've seen this come down, bang, 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 loads of lights and flashing things and pouring it and thinking, oh my God, it's still getting it wrong. So what I'm going to do, right back 2 years ago, researched this. Steve Gilsenan, the inventor of this, I watched his video with the Guinness Surge. I will put that video in the descriptions. You can go and watch that yourself. Now, I have been criticised myself about the demonstration on this, saying that, like, why are you saying to hold it above the horizontal when it says on the can horizontal? So basically, it gives you the instructions on the can. I've not got my light switched on here. That's a bit better. It gives you the instructions on the can there, right? Focusing in, tells you what to do. And then at this point there, it says, basically, hold can horizontally, glass 45 degrees. Then right at the very end, it says about 45 degrees, so above the horizontal. But Steve Gilsenan, the inventor of this, all these instructions, the horizontal bit, it's all there as a guide. Who has as well, when you hold the glass at 45 degrees, who has a protractor? So it's basically a tilt the glass. So some people have sort of said, your glass is not at 45 degrees. Your can should be horizontal, but I'm doing it above the horizontal. So you'll always get people, always, come and grab you for it. I'm just turning it upside down. I don't want any debris getting in that. And talk to you about, like, what's wrong. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk through the common mistakes that people make with this. And then I am going to show you how to pour it properly. And the way that Steve Gilsenan, the inventor of the cap and the head of global quality control at Guinness, or the global head of quality control, demonstrates his own product. And also, I speak to Steve quite a lot. He speaks to me about Guinness facts and, like, the real truth about certain things of Guinness. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make a little series of videos talking about myths like Guinness don't travel. It tastes better in Dublin. This tastes better in Dublin than it does in the UK. I'm going to tell you about the canning process of this and where it's canned and bits and bobs like that. Not from Google searching, from the man himself. Okay, so right, so common mistakes, right, of this. So I've gone through different, if you look over my YouTube channel, you'll see various videos of me. You'll see that on the very first video that I did of this, that my lacing on my glass was not very good because I hadn't learnt how to clean the glass properly, get that proper Guinness beer clean glass. Then throughout my trials, I've done various, see if I can do a pub pint compared to a pub and all different things, all different cleaning methods. There's lots of videos that I've done and it's all been a learning curve. Talking of which, part of the learning curve, and one of the videos that's going to be coming out, probably after this actually, because I want to get this out now, is about a subscriber who commented on my beer cleaning tuition to say that he uses this Astonish Clean and Revive. And I thought, oh, and he told me what he does with that. And I thought, you know what, based on that, I'm going to buy that and try his advice. And I've spoke to him, and he's basically, I've gone back and forward in the comments, you can see it, and he's basically, I found that it gave me a cloudy glass, but then I thought it's user error, I'm putting too much in, whatever. So, you know, we were all there to help each other out. I've also been on one of my old videos where I've done a draft pour, told that's not the way you pour a draft can of Guinness. But if you watch the head brewer from 2013 when they were talking about it, then it is the proper way. The only thing I do is turn it to the side so you don't get so much glug. But you can pour a draft Guinness however you want. If you dump it in, you get bubbles. If you want it smooth, you've got to do it like how it says. But anyway, people will always come to you and say, you're not doing that right. And then I'll say, okay, great. Like, this is how I've been shown by the proper people, the people who invent the Guinness or whatever. If you don't think I'm doing it right, will you please tell me how I'm doing it? But sometimes I never get that. I'm here to interact. So at any point during this video, I'd like you to comment on this video, your thoughts, anything you think about it, comment. But please, if you do comment saying I've made a mistake or you think I've done something wrong, please tell me where you think I've done something wrong, and then I can either explain to you or whatever. But anyway, common mistakes. Number one, the can going all over the place. These cans have got to be chilled and 24 hours to settle. You don't want to be aggravating this. Now, one of the experiments I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a complete dump pour, see what that does. Then, and this is another mistake, they crack the can open and then the wrong way around, basically turn the unit on like this. Then they crack the can open and they pick the can up. Then they put the unit on the can. By the time they get to the glass, this is done 10 out of its 30 seconds. It takes approximately 30 seconds to do the first pour up to the hop. So by the time someone's gone on their video, the cap, turn, so they'll come there, boom, look at that, oh, lovely. Then it'll be like, can goes down, then it's on it goes, then away with the tilt. 15 seconds in, lights turned out, surging stop, you've not got up to the heart, that's sort of game over. Then the second mistake, and it's not just me, I'm here as a laugh thinking, oh my god, people are still getting this wrong after all the hundreds of videos that are out there. Second mistake is on the second pour, you don't turn the unit on. You don't turn it on the second pour. And then basically the glass stays down and you pour it in. Anyway, right, so that's all the mistakes I think I'm making. Turning the unit on early. This has a 30-second timer, and you don't want to be turning it on early. Another big mistake as well is, but you can't physically see people make this mistake, is if you're not cleaning this out in if you're having 4 or 5 pints of Guinness or whatever, pop it on, drink your Guinness or whatever, literally just give it a quick swill. Even if you just have a glass of water and a little jug and just to swill it out a bit. Keep it nice and clean. Keeping this clean is the key. These are your pipes. These are your pipes in your line. And that is going to be another video I'm talking about why Guinness tastes differently. I'm going to do a real-time experiment to literally show you why you get Guinness tasting different, right? Okay. Now, what I'm thinking about so another not mistake, but another thing you've got to do is your glass has got to be clean. And I don't just mean clean, I mean beer clean, proper, you know what I'm like, super anal, right? And I don't mind admitting it because we're talking about Guinness drinkers here. Guinness drinkers are the most fussiest people in the world. Now, with this glass, I have used my friend who gave me some advice with his cleaning method. I've used the Astonish Revive, Clean and Revive on this. But the only problem is I can't seem to do it without getting a little bit of cloudiness. Now, if you do the salt test after the Clean and Revive and you swill it all out and you got the glass wet and you do the salt round, I'm talking really fast because I don't want it to last forever. You get the stick with the salt. It creates a beer clean glass. That Astonish, you'll have to watch the video that's coming out. It does a beer clean glass. It will give you no nucleation points with IPAs and things like that. It's absolutely fantastic. With the Guinness, I still found that the salt method, after regenerating your glass, works the best. However, I still think that if you're just going to not do a regeneration of your glasses, then the Astonish is really good, but you've got to just use very little trial and error, which I found is a little bit. So what I've done with that, I've used the Astonish in this, right? This glass had already been revived. It's already had the regeneration, but then I'd had several pints in it. So I've used the Astonish, but then what I've done is I've then still used the salt method and gave it a salt warmer. So I'm hoping to get a good lacing on this, but it's never guaranteed. Right, so I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get the cold can out the fridge, and I'm going to show you how to pour this bad boy properly. Well, I think it's properly anyway. Right, so before I actually crack the can open, One of my tips, and I'm not going to use this can to demonstrate because I don't want anything to get in here. One of my tips with this is when you turned it over, and this is another mistake, I've just thought people say to touch the nozzle on the side of the glass. No, it doesn't want to touch anything. You hold it over and let it pour smoothly, right? But I find if you rest it on the glass like that, it helps you to keep it nice and consistent. So, and I have not actually got, there is a harp on there. So the first pour is up to the top of that harp, right? Okay. So the way this is now is do not touch this on the glass, right? Even though it says hold the can horizontally, you want it above the horizontal. You want the glass at 45 degrees, or just a tilt, you know what I mean? A good tilt, round about the 45 degrees, bringing it up to a straight glass as you get near the harp. But you got to crack the can open, put this on, then turn it on, okay? So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to crack this can open that's been settling for 24 hours, right? You still get a little hiss. Then we're going to put the cap on top of the can. Hold the can like this so you're ready to go. And as soon as you press the button, you get it going. You get it going in the glass and you see the surge. Now this will surge all the way for its 30 seconds. I'm going to try and so the light's on. The light should stay on long enough for me to get this all the way up to that harp. So we're bringing it up now, bringing it up to the harp. Then we're going to stop and look, the light's still on. Watch, and any second now it will go. Look at that, right? So basically that's given us time to pour it up to the harp, getting the full surge, right? So all the way up to that harp there, or near enough now. I mean, it's like starting to form the head, isn't it? So all the way up to that harp, you're getting the full surge, which on the first pour, you do want the full surge. Now, I've heard various people sort of say, just do it in one pour. The two-part pour's a thing from years ago, but it's still a nice thing to do. So then that settles there, and that takes approximately about a minute to settle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to wait until it's settled, and I'll come back to you. So we are pretty much settled. Now, I don't know whether you've noticed, if you've ever been out in pubs and things, sometimes when you get a Guinness Porter, you will see that horrible sort of like what looks like reverse condensation inside the glass, right? You don't want to be seeing any of that. What you want to be seeing is a pure black. Now, there may be, this glass is quite old, there may be some scratches on the glass, but you do not want to be seeing any of that like reverse condensation, that type of stuff in the glass, right? You will get condensation. I've purposely not put the heating on in here, but that is pure, beautiful, clean, no nucleation points on the glass. That is the way that the Guinness needs to be able to give it its best chance of being creamy, lovely Guinness. So what I'm going to do now is, you're not going to be able to see this, or what I might do, I might put the camera down so you can. Here we are. I'm going to do the second part, stand up and do this. This wants to be about 45 degrees, glass nice and straight. It should pour all the way to the top without going over, and hopefully without probably just the tiniest little bubble at the end. So here we go, in one go, not touching the glass, not touching the beer. Let's go. Smooth action. Oh, sometimes, depending how it goes in there, you will get that odd splash in the head. So you're never ever gonna go over with this can. There's one little bubble. Look, we'll just give it the... Someone might criticize me for that, but it is what it is. Sometimes when you turn it over, it's coming out, you're gonna get it. But basically there, you have got a smooth, creamy head with no bubbles in it. It's still settling. You can still see it settling there. Look, you can see it just creeping up to the top. So let's just wait until it's settled, and then we'll see how lovely and black this Guinness looks. Right, so here we have it. Here we have the pint of Guinness. Looking the business, okay? So I've been to pubs, like I say, and I've been presented with a pint of Guinness, and it's got all them horrible, like I say, reverse thing. Now, if anybody says that that doesn't look like a stunning pint of Guinness from a can from the Nitro Surge, then I would like to know why you don't think it looks right. We've got a slight dome, but like this is as much dome as you can get from the can. There's a good, look at that, a good tilt. You can see the cream. Look at how much I can get off that. Look, and you can see the cream just coming back. So now the final test. I know that this glass is beer clean. I know that this glass is clean enough. That's condensation, look. I know that this glass is clean enough for Guinness because it's not got any of them. But is it pristinely clean enough to be able to leave that trying to split the G famous lacing? Well, there's only one way to find out. And if the Guinness is poured correctly, the glass is clean, and everything's gone right, you should get that nice sweet hit, roasty, and then the bitterness on the end. Okay, with a lovely cream and possibly some cream on here. Let's launch this and see what it's like. Cheers. Well, I didn't split the G, and it's not quite as laced as I've had it. However, I'm not going to be too dismayed about that because this has been. I've tried this with a new Astonish method, and then the salt clean afterwards. So I'd still think, in all fairness, that you're better off with the regenerate, because the Astonish might have sort of like got rid of that actual regeneration clean, but even so, it's still sticking to the glass, giving the lace. It's still tasting lovely. But I can actually tell that this isn't the way that I normally clean the glass. There is a slight taste difference in the Guinness, and this is one of the things I'm going to talk about in another video. So what I'm going to do in another video is I'm going to regenerate the glass, clean it the way I always clean it, which will hopefully give that good stick, that real creamy stick. And I'm going to purposely have a glass that's not beer clean, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two. But anyway, this was a tutorial in how to use this properly, and it was also an experiment with a new glass cleaning method that one of my subscribers has talked to me about. So it's basically saying, let's interact, let's talk about it, let's learn from each other, because I'm not always right and nobody's always right, nobody's perfect, but all I know is that is the correct way to use the Guinness Nitro Surge cap. So I'm gonna launch this. I'm going to bid you farewell, because this is the drink that is smashable every time. Cheers. And that is still not a bad bit of lacing, but I still, if you look at some of my other videos where I've done my proper glass cleaning, you will see that I've got the full cream all the way down. But there's quite a lot of pubs that don't get it as good as that. But it's all about the look. It's all about the presentation with Guinness. When you get given a pint of Guinness, it's all about how it looks, and that looked the business. And it didn't have them horrible. You know what I mean, don't you? That. So, cheers for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. I really want to talk to you about this. I really want to go through various journeys with the Guinness now and try and explain why it tastes different in various places. Thank you very much. I've been Speno. This has been 2 years on nearly. If it was March, it'd be 2 years. With another up-to-date 2025 tutorial on how to use this bad boy. Cheers. Keep safe. Keep well. And I'll see you on the next one. Boom.